Leeds United, one of the most famous clubs in British football history. Champions and winners of titles and trophies in England and in Europe. Leeds have one of the largest, most passionate fan bases in world club football. Despite now plying their trade in England's second division, the Championship. At the turn of this century, Leeds went from Champions League heroes to the brink of extinction within a few seasons. Disastrous financial mismanagement and a series of off-field scandals left the club in ruins. Since then, new owners and managers have tried to revive the sleeping giant. Until now, all have failed. But there is new hope in the shape of ambitious Italian entrepreneur, Andrea Radrizzani. His goal is to rebuild the club and fulfill the demands of a worldwide fan base and get Leeds United back into the Premier League, the most prestigious football competition in the world. This is a story that plays out in one of the most extraordinary seasons in this remarkable club's history. This is Take Us Home, Leeds United.
Impossible bets is what he specialized in, but turning the table to his favor. That takes guts, energy, which he has plenty of, stamina. With that, they made a lot of money, and I keep telling him not to waste it on bloody football, because football doesn't make any money. So he said, you don't trust me? I said, yeah, I trust you. You're a smart, young entrepreneur.
I will show him the opposite.
And I said, please, and for your kid who loves football, make sure that he doesn't hate it when he's big enough to understand that he wasted only a fortune behind.
Andrea Radrizzani was born in Milan and created his fortune, an estimated 450 million pounds, after founding his own global investment company specializing in trading television sports rights.
So I left Milan in 2003. I went to Shanghai, then Tokyo, then Singapore, and then I started to share my time between Singapore and London. So I've been away more than 15 years, or 16 this year. And then this year I decided to come back for 1 year in Milan to stay here with my family so that my son can learn Italian and can go to school here for the first year at school. And kindergarten is only 3 years old. And then, my family is here, and me, I'm up and down between London, Leeds, and Milan. We have a deal with the wife, with Nadine, that if we get promoted, we're going to move Leeds 1 year.
Andrea bought a 50% stake in Leeds United in January 2017, before completing a full buyout 5 months later.
Hey.
Who is this? Who is that?
You still awake? So I told them, this is our football pitch, right? Where is your goal? Okay. Show him which football shirt you use when you play. Look, even this one. This is your favorite, huh? This is your favorite. I like to make money, of course. When I work, as a consequence, I think my reward is to make money and be profitable. I take risk. So because at the end it's like a game. One day I'm going back to the dust like everybody, so money doesn't count. I like to invest in things that give me adrenaline, and business is one of them, football is one of them, so I enjoy that. He's really against my investment in football.
No, I'm not against. I think that doing it
The risk is very high.
alone, it took a lot of courage and maybe a little bit too much. That's all. I'm saying that he could have done it with a team, a group of investors.
Yeah, but nobody follow crazy ideas.
That's true too.
They follow when they're already successful.
I thought there were a lot of crazy guys in Leeds.
When you deliver, they follow.
I thought in the town of Leeds there was enough crazy people for football.
It's a club that is perfectly suited for a one-club city. It's a club that embodies the city and attracts the interest, captures the interest of everybody. It's an incredibly loyal city, and that loyalty has persisted despite the fact that there were so many occasions when the crowds could have dipped to a worrying level, as has happened with other clubs across the country. But the support always seems to be there. It's always ready to come back. And I think it is an institution that the city needs, the city will always need and will always float.
For the amount of fans who go to Ellen Road on a weekly basis and the numbers they get and the people who are from around the world who are watching it live from every country around the world, it's unbelievable.
We're a big city who wants one team in it. Every other big city has a couple of teams in, so there's a divided support, whereas Leeds, everyone's Leeds.
It's truthfully my religion. And that's what I say to my kids. When they say, oh, Mum, you're going to football again, I'm like, yeah, it's my religion. I'm off praising. I'm off to church.
It's reinvigorated my life, my focus. It's all Leeds now. I work, yeah. I have children, I have family, and I have Leeds. Leeds United.
To me, what it means to be a Leeds fan is camaraderie, family, emotion, passion, one team city.
Andrea bought a club that had suffered a humiliating fall from grace. Under legendary manager Don Revie, Leeds established themselves as a dominant force during the 1960s and 70s.
Leeds United, all in white, against the Gunners, Arsenal. Jones as he kicks to Alan Clark, who heads it in.
On the pitch, Captain Billy Bremner was their leader. They became England's top team and were feared and respected across the whole of Europe.
Jack Charlton, Bremner. Oh, beautiful goal! What a superb goal by Bremner!
After Revie left to become England manager in the mid-70s, Leeds had over a decade in the doldrums before returning to be crowned English champions again in 1992. At the turn of the century, they became a force in Europe again and reached the Champions League semi-finals in 2001. But after overspending and financial mismanagement, Leeds went into freefall. A fire sale of their greatest talent was inevitable. Rio Ferdinand became Britain's most expensive player when he moved to bitter rivals Manchester United for £30 million. And Leeds were forced to sell stars like Robbie Fowler, Jonathan Woodgate and Harry Kewell.
You were never quite sure where the next crisis was coming from, whether the people who were in charge of the club could manage the crisis.
What many considered the most exciting young side in England was ripped apart. Leeds were relegated from the Premier League in 2004 and dropped to the third tier 3 years later. New owners and managers have come and gone, their long-suffering fans convinced they're a cursed club. But after 15 years in the wilderness, hope is returning to Ellen Road.
In terms of a city and a club being combined, or the potential for it to be combined, I don't think there's another city like it.
Andrea is someone who throws himself in literally the deep end, and he goes and he grabs everyone. He's someone very approachable, and he likes to have contact with people. So either if it's someone really high or someone that has the job as the janitor or in the kitchen that's cooking, he goes and he greets them, he says thank you. And for him it's important because everyone brings value to the club. Everyone works together for the same cause, and I think it's very important that they can feel that they can speak to him as well, and he's not someone up there, because he's not that type of person.
When Andrea came in, I didn't know much about him, to be quite honest, but there was no skeletons. You know, you search, you have a look, and you thought, wow, this guy seems clean.
I have to say we've been through a very dark era with the former owners, but Andrea, the new owner, and his team that have come in have been very outward focused.
Andrea's first move is to recruit a Premier League quality management team and put Leeds back on track, both on and off the pitch. Spaniard Victor Orta was recruited from Championship rivals Middlesbrough and appointed Director of Football. Victor is now responsible for assembling a squad capable of challenging for promotion to the Premier League.
In all the headlines, in all the history that they are making, obviously, like crazy football fans, I know the history about this kind of club, and was a big challenge to me. I arrived to a club like Leeds United to try back to his real position, that was the Premier League.
When you meet Victor, you understand his knowledge on the scouting. I think, yes, he's a database. He's very knowledgeable about everything.
Andrea has recruited a CEO with a Premier League pedigree, former West Ham managing director Angus Kinnear.
It's the best job in football. I genuinely believe it's the best job in football. If we can take Leeds United back to where they belong, I don't think there's a bigger challenge, I don't think there's a bigger prize. It's a club with just such fantastic history, such fantastic potential, so I didn't think twice about it. With Victor and Andrea, we over-index on Latin American and Hispanic passion. I'm definitely the boring Anglo-Saxon who tries to steer through the middle path. But it's a fantastic working environment. You know, they're friends as well as colleagues. I think we all want to achieve success together, and I think the skills are actually well balanced. The way that you work with Victor and with me is Victor tries to spend money, I try to save it and make it.
And we don't speak about football after the games.
And we don't speak about football after the games. That was the critical mistake from last year.
Last year was the new management team's first full season in charge. It was a steep learning curve as Leeds finished 13th in the Championship. The board decided more change was needed at the very top. The search was on for a new, world-class head coach, one that could transform the club.
Andrea and Victor suggested his name as somebody that we should be looking at. I had a wry smile because neither of them lack ambition, but sometimes their ideas aren't rooted in reality.
A él no lo motiva ni el dinero ni las comodidades. Lo motivan los grandes objetivos.
Es la manera de manejarse él, lo honesto que es, lo gran técnico que es. Yo creo que es uno de los mejores técnicos del mundo.
In the early 90s, an ex-player of Argentinian side Newell's Old Boys returned to his former club and transformed their fortunes. After winning 2 league titles, he remains a legend to this day.
Para el hincha de Newell es un ídolo fundamental. Es un dios para nosotros.
Bueno, para mí es como un sinónimo de maestro, de un maestro que tuve durante 7 u 8 años en las divisiones juveniles de Newell y en el primer equipo profesional de Newell. La persona que nos enseñó muchísimo. Una persona que nos contagia a casi todo ese equipo las ganas de ser entrenador, de dirigir, de vivir por el fútbol y para el fútbol.
Marcelo Bielsa brought pride and passion back to Newell's Old Boys. Carried shoulder high by his players on winning the 1990 league title, his defiant and expletive Newell's Carajo remains the fans' war cry to this day. He went on to become one of the most respected coaches in world football, leading Argentina to Olympic gold in 2004, transforming Chilean football as national coach and again at club level with Athletic Bilbao. His admirers are many, including Manchester City coach Pep Guardiola and Tottenham Hotspur manager Mauricio Pochettino, who Bielsa signed as a 13-year-old at Newell's Old Boys.
Marcelo Bielsa has got a vision of life which is admirable. The principles that he applies to his day-to-day life. There is an enigma about him, creates an aura surrounded by pupils, otherwise known as disciples, and that creates a cult of the personality.
Victor and I went over to Buenos Aires. We sat in a hotel with him for effectively 12 hours. What we found very quickly was he's not a man who wanted to be sold to. You know, we felt that we were going to have to explain to him the vision of Leeds and the potential of Leeds, but he got that straight away. He understood it.
Me parece que es una persona que se fija mucho en objetivos, en logros que no sean tan fáciles. Lo fácil, quizás lo aburra. A él le interesan los desafíos difíciles, desafíos que tengan que ver también mucho con el corazón que le pueda poner él y las personas que van a trabajar con él. En cuanto a el Leeds, es un grande del fútbol inglés que hace rato que no es grande. Él creo que vio en su imaginación volver a ser al Leeds uno de los grandes de Inglaterra. Y esa motivación y ese objetivo seguramente lo motivó muchísimo para poder intentarlo.
In going for Bielsa, I think it was an admission that they needed to bite the bullet with the head coach. They needed to find somebody with that track record, with that proven ability, or at least that kudos and that aura that could get the club, get a hold of the club and change the culture of it, change the way in which they played, gain the respect of the players, which I think at times over the years has definitely been an issue.
One of my jobs was to get the contract signed and agree the commercial terms, and one of the frustrating things was I couldn't get him to talk or debate or engage in that subject at all.
Él mira mucho los detalles de cada uno de los clubes que dirige y no solamente la parte deportiva o la parte del club Leeds. Estudia la ciudad, estudia la gente, estudia todo lo que rodea a Leeds como ciudad, dónde la gente le interesa ir, qué lee, cómo se mueve la gente por la ciudad. Si no hay una ciudad que lo haga sentir enamorado de la ciudad, no va a ir. Es decir, Bielsa no fue a dirigir el Leeds por el club Leeds. Bielsa fue a dirigir el Leeds por la ciudad en su conjunto.
So even though we were only in Buenos Aires for 24 hours, we shook hands knowing that he was going to be the next Leeds United head coach, but not knowing anything about what the contract was going to contain.
Consideré la fortaleza del proyecto deportivo e institucional, analicé las posibilidades deportivas y bueno, eso hizo que hiciera esfuerzos para ser el que finalmente eligieron. Bueno, los entrenadores no tenemos otra opción que imponer lo que pensamos, porque no se puede convencer proponiendo algo en lo que uno no cree.
He comes with the nickname El Loco, and because you only have the chance really to read about him and to to analyse him in that way before he arrives, you have this picture of a crazy individual, in no way level-headed, loose cannon who could do anything at the drop of a hat. But I think in the flesh and in practice, obsessional is the word. He wants things to be right.
I think he's great. I think he's honestly one of the best in the world. He had a great impact on me, and I hope he promotes, honestly.
He's single-minded in a way that very few head coaches I've seen before are. He keeps the players at arm's length, he keeps the media at arm's length. He strikes me as a guy who has nothing on his mind at any stage of the day apart from football. I think it has been his life for a long time.
All of us were like, wow, we're about to work a whole season for one of the best managers. Everybody speaks so highly of him, do you know what I mean? So straight away, like, no matter what he wants done, you say you're standing like, yeah, absolutely no problem.
I thought this could be a spectacular failure. It could be spectacularly brilliant. Do my homework, start to think, wow, this guy's a bit different. There's people talking about him in a quite a special way.
Probably the most honest guy that I've ever met in football. He was very, very obsessed with no cheating, never try to be honest every time you are on the pitch.
Marcelo was very, very specific on the additions we needed to make and was actually much more focused on what he could get out of the existing squad. And so the players that he said would step up, so players who potentially had been written off by the fan base like Liam Cooper and Calvin Phillips, they were specific players that Marcelo said, I will make them the best players in the league.
What do you think of him,
What? Bielsa. Oh, I think he's lovely. I'd love to bump into him. He walks round Weatherby sometimes. I'm always going to get us and go to Weatherby. I heard he goes in Costas. I'd like to bump into him and say, I'm Calvin's grandma.
But he was going to Huddersfield as well, and Leeds.
Yeah.
I went to Huddersfield first, but I didn't like it, did I?
No.
Because I went to one train station.
He wanted to go to Leeds because Leeds were interested as well at the same time, weren't they? And his heart were at Leeds, wasn't it?
I had like a 6-week trial, and then
scored a few goals and then didn't score.
scored like 5 goals in like 3 games, and then got signed, and then didn't score for the rest of the season.
I mean, I've always liked Phillips, but I was always unsure if Phillips were going to develop. You know, he's still young, but he's not 18, 19 anymore, so he's in that sort of era now of like, right, I'm going to be early 20s. And being a local lad, you know, he knows what we're all about. He knows what all fans are about, and he is a fan. So he's on pitch doing it for us and for the team. When players come in on loan, you know, we've had a lot of loans over the years, they don't know or feel what we feel about Leeds, but Phillips for me does, because he is. I think he wants Leeds to be where they belong, and I think he's Leeds through and through.
He's like me when I was young, Calvin. He's just a dead, down-to-earth kid. I've played with Calvin for 4 years now, and he's a great young lad. He's got everything to become a top player, and it's all about his application. If he applies himself, he can go on to do massive things in the game. Obviously, he's a Leeds boy as well, and he supports Leeds United like myself and other players, and it'll be great for him, especially being Leeds born. It'll be an unbelievable achievement, and he's got the world at his feet, and to do it at a club he supports and he's been at all his life, it'll be unbelievable for him. Like, he'll be like me. He'll want to do well and make his family proud and make his loved ones proud, and that's the way it should be. At the end of the day, we're all people, and we're all normal people. You get caught up in this stereotype, oh, he's a footballer, he's a young lad, he's doing this, he's doing that, but at the end of the day we want to be successful, and we want to get the best out of ourselves like all footballers do.
Es una buena persona. Los valores que él transmite se sintetizan en que le interesa más el bien de todos que el bien propio. Es generoso para ayudar, lo suficientemente humilde como para aceptar ser ayudado. Esas dos cosas combinadas lo vuelven un ejemplo para todos nosotros.
We've got a really good base, haven't we, local lads. It's just, and he's doing the right thing, it seems, like giving him little minutes here and there, like development. So in a couple of years' time, we should have a good base of players as well as Phillips.
Yeah, English base, Yorkshire lads.
Yeah. The way he's working with players is improving the whole team, definitely. It's not one player now that I'd say is a weak link.
No.
He's a coach that you can give the talent, but he always improve the talent, improve the capacity of the player. There's a lot of example in his career that develop players.
He's very demanding. The way he plays demands you a lot in terms of effort, in terms of cardio capacity. I've seen some of the players going out the pitch vomiting, absolutely exhausted. But after, when you play and you fly, you absolutely fly.
His work this summer has been meticulous to the nth degree. The players have been in at Thorpe Arch through pre-season for 12-hour days, in it around 8 o'clock in the morning, leaving sometime after 7 o'clock. He didn't go as far as he did at Leo, where he had accommodation and bungalows built at their training ground so the players could sleep, but they've been there all hours.
Obviously, you can see his reputation. Yeah, he's kind of crazy when you look at him from the outside, and he is kind of crazy when you with him at the time. And I don't know whether it's because obviously I don't understand the language that he's speaking.
Absolutely fastidious about body fat. Owen Luke Ayling spoke to us and said that he considered himself to be a pretty skinny, lean player, but Bielsa's first advice to him was to lose 4 kilograms.
Every morning, like, we're trying to make weight in the morning, which can get tiresome, you know, like you come home and you just want to have a little takeaway or something and you can't bother to cook, but then you think, oh, I've got to weigh in the morning.
We are a very young squad, but I think coming under the new regime and stuff, it's made the lads become experienced while still being young, and we're very lucky in the way we have got a young team which is willing to learn.
He's a breath of fresh air, really. Since he's come into the club, I've acted like a sponge. I started making notes actually just on things that I'm learning and taking from him.
The way he used to tell us that the best way to defend is to keep attacking, the best way to get the victory is to score more goals and more goals and more goals.
He has raised everybody's game. And this is not just the players, in the staff, in the offices, even the fans. Everybody is right now very switched on, clued on, or at least trying to understand what he's doing, but really just giving extra. I felt, number one, that he's doing the biggest, most important thing one single individual can do with a football club of the stature of Leeds United. He's changing the culture of the club. For me, it's a reminder that football is not about the results. Football is about enjoying the work that you put in, the day-to-day, enjoying the people that you cross paths with.
When you've made the type of commitment we'd made to secure Marcelo, it would have been very short-sighted to not give him the tools he felt were needed to get us promoted. He takes a very measured and sensible approach. So rather than being a manager who has a list of 10 players he wanted to sign, Marcelo was very, very specific on the positions that needed to be strengthened. And then when Victor presented him with the options, he was very specific on the choices he wanted to make. So. Actually, it felt like we were working in tandem and in partnership with the manager, rather than it can often feel like you're working against them to secure targets which were really going to strengthen us. So I think the buys that we made showed ambition. They required financial commitment, but I think they were pretty judicious at the same time.
Leeds decide to invest heavily in a proven marquee striker, Patrick Bamford, who signs from promotion rivals Middlesbrough in a deal worth up to £10 million, the club's most expensive signing for 17 years.
He says, Leeds really want you. He said, Bielsa, he says, I'll tell you now, he's crazy. He's got something about him, but he's one of the most respected managers in the world. And he said, they've been looking at different strikers, and he said, he's pointed out that you're the one he wants. I said, okay. I said, so that's like, obviously I'm smiling down the phone. I'm like, all right, okay. I said, I don't think that Middlesbrough will let me go.
And Victor had obviously worked with him before, but when we met him, we knew he was just what we needed. He was somebody who wanted to play for Leeds United, shoulder the burden of being the club's number 9, and wanted to be the first choice striker.
Patrick, he's arriving in the key moment for one key player of the season.
And then Victor, obviously, and he gave me a big hug and like embraced me. And he was like, yes, finally. He says, I remember exactly what he said. He said, if I wasn't before, I'm definitely now the most hated man in Middlesbrough. He's like, I just stole their main guy. And yeah, there's the documents to sign, and I remember he took me to see the gaffer. All he said to me, he tapped me on the shoulder, good luck. I was like, cheers.
Left-back Barry Douglas, who helped Wolverhampton Wanderers gain promotion to the Premier League last season, signs in a £3 million deal too.
It can be a daunting experience walking into a new dressing room, but what I will say is the guys here were really open, not just with me, with new staff, with other players, so it was really easy to adapt quickly and get to business and feel involved. I met Victor in Birmingham. We just had a bit of lunch, a bit of chat about football, nothing too serious or formal. It was more a get-together and see how their plans were for this year, and I kind of went from there. I was optimistic and happy what the journey was going to bring and the challenge ahead, so yeah, we signed for Leeds.
The Championship is a grueling 46-game season and is considered one of the toughest football competitions in the world. The teams that finish first and second are automatically promoted to the Premier League. The teams finishing 3rd to 6th must enter a playoff series with a one-match final played at the iconic Wembley Stadium in London. The winners of the playoff final are promoted to the Premier League, which is worth around £170 million. It is the most lucrative sporting fixture on the planet. Leeds' first game of the Championship is at Ellen Road against Stoke City, who played in the Premier League last season and are favourites to finish top.
Coming up, first game against Stoke, it's one of them things where you think they've just come down. Are they going to do us in? First game of the season, if they do us in 4-5-0, what's going to happen there? Bielsa, what, 5 games in goes?
What normally happens with Leeds is we'll get off to a good start, and then before Christmas we'll absolutely mess it up and finish 14th, which could happen.
Point against Stoke in the first game of the season would be a good start to the season for me. They are #1 favourites to go straight back up, aren't they? With the money that they've got and the players that they've got that they've retained. I think the best we can hope for, in all honesty, is a draw.
It's the start of the season. I'm always optimistic. We've got Marcelo, who's just come in. I like what I see, what I've read, is giving me visions of Don Revie.
Decir eso antes que comience la competencia es un poco arriesgado. Naturalmente es un rival poderoso.
Well, obviously we all want to get promoted. We all want to go back to the promised land. It's time we were back where we should be.
Very, very nervous prior to Stoke. It was exactly the fixture I wouldn't have chosen to have. I thought they'd be the strongest team in the division.
I'm a pessimist. I'll be optimistic after the last game of the season. I'm superstitious that way. Yes, sir. Thank you. Next, please.
A little bit tense, but
we can do it. We're going to do it. We're going to go up. It's about time. They can do this. Come on, Leeds.
Number 2, Luke Ayling. Number 3, please.
Leeds United has a new king. He's from Argentina. As Marcelo Bielsa makes that first walk down the tunnel to get the full Ellen Road experience. 34,000 here packed and expectant. Will Leeds be mid-table mediocrity once again? Or will their new leader take them to real promotion potential? Well, they're up against Stoke City, the promotion favourites. We're about to get underway.
From From the first whistle, Leeds tear into Stoke.
It's Roof so close, beaten away by Butland and scrambled clear by Stoke. Somehow it remains 0-0.
And look a side transformed from last season.
Saiz for Leeds. Vickers onside, this is the chance, and he scores, and Mateus Klick gets Leeds United and Marcelo Bielsa off to the dream start after just 15 minutes. What a start, they lead 1-0.
Bielsa has a vision for how the game should be played, and his players are actioning his plan to perfection.
Alioski has Hernandez is going to strike, and it's in at the near post. Leeds United are now 2 up against Stoke City. Hernandez celebrates, and they simply cannot believe what they're seeing here. At half-time, it's 2-0, and this has been an outstanding start for Marcelo Bielsa and this Leeds United side.
At the start of the second half, Stoke begin to compose themselves.
That looks clumsy, and a penalty awarded. And a Phobie straight down the middle, halves the arrears. Stoke are back in it.
Last season, Leeds might have buckled after such a setback. But this is a new Leeds United.
Barry Douglas to deliver. In goes Cooper. Oh, what a header. And Liam Cooper, the captain, steps up just when the skipper is needed to restore a 2-goal advantage. Leeds United now 3-1 ahead against Stoke City. What a start for Leeds United. They have absolutely crushed Stoke City by 3-1.
Massive, massive. I hadn't seen Leeds United like that for years.
I thought he played really well today. I was a bit surprised. I thought with the team we picked, didn't fancy our chances, but they really excelled. So yeah, I'm very pleased.
Great result, fantastic. Couldn't imagine anything better.
Great game, played very well.
3 points, second in the league. We're going up.
I think it shows what happens when you've got a world-class manager. You know, that team, with the exception of Douglas, was available to us all through last season. And, you know, some of those players, I've never seen them play like that before. Liam Cooper looked like a different player. Roof looked superb. Phillips was awesome in that midfield. So I don't know what he's been doing with them over the last 6 weeks, but he's paying off. And I didn't expect that, and I'm really looking forward to the rest of the season.
It was a beautiful day. The performance was outstanding. The crowd was sold out and was fierce. Ellen Road was properly fierce. And it was the best feeling coming away from there thinking, hang on, this is going to happen.
And after the momentous Stoke victory, Leeds starts the season, begins to truly lift off. Next in their sights, Derby County.
Hernandez into the Poland international Klick. He's lining up one. Oh, what a strike! And that's 2-2 for Mateus Klick, and he gets Leeds off again to the perfect start. Alioski, drifting cross. Up between them goes Roof. Oh, that's an imperious header. And Kemal Roof gets his season off to a scoring start.
Leeds take on and dismantle promotion contender after promotion contender. Norwich City are trounced at home.
Oh, lovely move this. Here goes Alioski, and he's driven it through the keeper. This could well be the result that makes the rest of the championship sit up and take note. Leeds United could well be the real deal as they head towards life in the Premier League under Marcelo Bielsa.
El más valioso es la alegría que le podemos provocar a aquellos que tienen dificultad para acceder a momentos felices por otro camino que no sea el fútbol.
Mid-September, and Leeds take on Preston North End at Ellen Road. It's an opportunity for home fans to enjoy the Bielsa-inspired, all-action style that is fast becoming their trademark.
Leeds are in again here. Tyler Roberts at the cop end, looking to lob home. Oh, what a way to open the account for Leeds United. Tyler Roberts with a really calm and composed finish over the keeper. There really is no stopping them now. Said looking for Klick. Roberts alone in the centre, and he's got a third. 2 for Tyler Roberts. Leeds United cruising to a 3-0 victory, and they're showing every bit of their promotion credentials once again. The board believe it, the players believe it, and now the Leeds United supporters are believing it as well.
After 8 games, Leeds are undefeated in the Championship and top of the league. But there is a long, twisting road ahead. And what is about to unfold will be one of the most dramatic seasons in this club's history.
Do you think we should let Aston Villa score?
Absolutely not.
There's a massive expectation for this city. We want to be back to Premier League.
We've played amazing so far, and I think we're going to win the league.
15 years we've been waiting, so hopefully this is a team that are going to put us back up there.
This season, we're going to get to Premiership, of course.
We're going to do it, aren't we? We've got to. Best chance we've had in years, mate. Best chance. We've got to. I think we'll do it. Come on, Leeds. Come on.
Can't see us losing for the rest of the year, to be honest, you know. Tell you what, if we go to the Premier League, I'll be running bollock naked down this street. It'll be cold, by the way, that's all I'm going to say.
Leeds United are blazing a trail in the English Championship.
Up between them goes Roof. Oh, that's an imperious header.
After 8 games, they are top of the table and undefeated.
Seeing that football was brilliant.
And we just like ripped them to bits.
There is newfound belief on the pitch and on the terraces. Key to Leeds' brilliant start to the season is the performance of striker Kemar Roof. His form was rewarded with the first Championship Player of the Month award.
And it's all stemmed from our pre-season. It's been the best pre-season I've had so far, the hardest. And the style of play that Marcelo is giving us, and every day is educating us on the style of play, with the ball, without the ball.
Pero es un jugador que se ha preocupado muchísimo para regresar en su mejor versión.
Proper family man. Really, when it comes to his missus and his kids and his dogs, he's not your typical footballer. He works really, really hard, and so we were delighted for his success, but not surprised because there were signs of it last year, and then this summer he just took advantage of. He just took advantage of what Marcelo was trying to get into them. And you look at his physique now compared to the end of last year, and he's a different build.
If we get promoted, it's It's going to be unbelievable. Like the club itself is massive. People tell me it's a big club, yes, it is, but you don't actually realise until you're in the moment. Say I could just go anywhere in the country, even in the world, I'd go somewhere and there's always a Leeds fan that will come up to me and say hello and talk to me. And for me, just getting used to that, it's unreal. Yeah. It's mental, and imagine if we get into the Premier League.
As the season progresses into the autumn months, Leeds remain top of the championship. The team continue to show off their dazzling high-energy football, the signature style of head coach Marcelo Bielsa. Next up is a tricky away game at local rivals Sheffield Wednesday.
It's going to fall to Click. He tries one. Oh, it's the equaliser. 1-1. Mateus Click once again. He's banging them in from all over the park as Leeds refuse to back down.
1 week later, league leaders Leeds have another tough game against top 6 side Brentford. It's a spiky affair. Leeds midfielder Gianni Olioski has an altercation with the Brentford bench whilst trying to retrieve the ball. And with only 2 minutes left on the clock, Leeds are trailing 1-0. But Leeds are also showing off a trait that is the signature of their glory years: a never say die fighting spirit.
Up goes Janssen, and there it is. Once again, Leeds United leave it late, but they've gone and secured a point. Look what it means to the fans, look what it means to the board, and look what it means to Bielsa.
And that fighting spirit is evident off the pitch as well as on it. An incensed Victor Orta, Leeds director of football, is convinced a Brentford player dived in order to win a penalty. Early November, and Leeds sit at the top of the table.
And look at that, 7 or 8 white shirts hunting in a pack.
Marcelo Bielsa's demanding high-intensity style, the Bielsa press, continues to enthrall fans and pundits alike.
I used to be an avid football manager player, so I used to download alt tactics, and there was always a tactic you could download online called the Bielsa press. I thought, what is Bielsa? What's a Bielsa? And you know, as soon as Leeds got linked with him and that, I sort of had an idea of what it was all about.
It's just that interlinking play, the press,
the speed,
attacking, speed,
fitness.
yeah.
It's fitness, isn't it?
Fitness,
I think as
a
well.
massive part.
Yeah.
Just seeing the players like all over the pitch, different runs that they make, the passing and moving,
Positioning,
and it's just you see absolutely. In fact, Leeds don't play like this.
Yeah.
Where's the learned to do this so quickly?
It's incredible the way he improves players. Playing from the back, from the goalkeeper, everyone moving all the time, no one stops 1 second of the game.
From day one, he said, like, if you don't accept what we're gonna do, you have to leave, you have to find something else. And all the players who are still with us now, they accepted it from day one.
Marcelo Bielsa is considered one of the most influential coaches of all time by football experts. He is only a few months into his reign at Leeds United, but is already adored by their demanding fans.
So many stories about him that are just completely crackers. He signed Pochettino as a kid, and like he went to his house at 2 o'clock in the morning when he was a kid to check his legs to see what to sign us. And that is true. So if that's true about it, then do you believe anything?
One group of Leeds fans have turned their regular football podcast into a celebration of Marcelo Bielsa.
We just started writing, writing football songs basically, and obviously. I just had the idea, the Bielsa Rhapsody. I think I was just lying in bed one day. I was like, open your eyes, look up to the skies, where Leeds. You know, and that was it. And off I went. It went online, and I was doing interviews in Norway, in Argentina, and Brazil. You know, people were contacting me from all over the world because of Bielsa.
I think Bielsa's got this
magnetism around him that probably can't be true in real life. So I just hope I never meet him, because at the minute, he's up there for me.
I love the guy. I'm obsessed with him. I think about him every day. I can honestly say there's not been a single day that's gone by where I haven't thought about Marcelo Bielsa.
Brought a bit of pride back, hasn't he, Michael? That's what
He
we're trying
has.
to say.
He has. He's brought hope, and it's the hope that kills you.
Bielsa has brought hope back to Leeds United, but critics have suggested his demanding high-press style can make players burn out as the season progresses. Many of their star players have picked up injuries in the opening months of the season, including no-nonsense defender Gaetano Berardi.
It's not easy to play in this way. We can see the injuries, we can see some strange, bad situations during the season, but it's our way to play. It's what Marcelo wants, and we can see the results, so we just need to keep going.
Big summer signing striker Patrick Bamford has a long-term knee injury.
I can do all the stuff outside. It's just literally the bending.
The sprint?
The sprint's the only thing I can't fully sprint.
Defender Pontus Jansson is also a regular in the treatment room, and fellow defender Luke Ayling has an ankle and knee injury too.
Hi there, it's Luke, is it?
Yeah, Luke. Yeah.
Can I have a look at this this ankle, and maybe have a quick look at your knee as well?
Yeah,
so okay.
right ankle, right knee. So.
Have you had these injections before?
No, first time.
So what we're going to do is inject some fluid into the ankle joint.
Yeah.
So you know there's a bit of cartilage.
Every month there's been 6 or 7 lads injured. I can't remember a month where there's only been 2 or 3 in the physio room, to be honest. I think every single month's been that.
Right, so that's your injection done. That looks excellent to me, that.
Perfect.
All right, no problem at all.
Thank you very much.
Emotionally, the team have had to become more robust. I think there's a lot of pressure on them. You know, we've gone from an environment where players used to train for 2 hours a day and then, you know, go and play golf or listen to music, and now they're in Thorpe Arch for 9 hours a day. And the requirements of them, you know, Marcelo's asking a lot of them. But what's made me really proud of the team this year is that they've all stepped up. You know, people talk about cultural changes in organisations. The cultural change that we've asked our players to take is it's really severe. It's changed their whole way of life. But each one of them, to a man, stepped up and embraced it.
It's mid-November. Since the last grasp draw against Brentford, Leeds have only won 2 of their last 4 games and have slipped to 3rd place. Now an injury-depleted side face fellow title contenders West Bromwich Albion away from home.
So another huge test for Leeds United, this time at the Hawthorns against much-fancied West Bromwich Albion, and Leeds are ravaged by injury. But the rewards, should they overcome their problems, will be a return to the top of the table if they can win.
Leeds are on the back foot from the start.
West Brom on the attack. Rodriguez, they're in round the back here with Robson Kanu, shoots low, and he's beaten Peacock Farrell, and West Brom deservedly take the lead. United are behind here at the Hawthorns.
For the first time this season, Leeds are dominated by an opponent.
They're coming again. Phillips from distance. Oh, and Peacock Farrell will not look back well on that one. Beaten from a long way out, and Phillips doubles the lead for the Baggies. It's West Brom 2, Leeds United 0, and this is the first time that United have been seriously outplayed in a match under Marcelo Bielsa. They're in for a third here, Harvey Barnes, and that is 3. And the humiliation must be complete now for Leeds United. There's no way back here. They've been ripped apart in this second half.
Again and again, their defence, ravaged by injuries, is breached.
And is there a 4th? Dwight Gale with a cheeky back heel. He loves a goal against Leeds. He's got another one.
After decades of disappointment, Leeds fans had real hope for a return to the top flight. But after the West Brom defeat, doubt has resurfaced.
West Brom away, I mean, it was sort of a bit of a reality check, really. Yeah, we got beaten. You're downhearted, but I'm one of those people who sleeps on it and forgets about it.
Leeds were not promotion favourites at the start of the season, but even after that comprehensive defeat, they are now. An entire city is hoping, almost demanding success.
The players have got to turn up on the pitch. The fans have got to stick by them, because it's we're the city of where we lose, and you know, as much as I love Leeds and the fans who are behind us, you know, we've got some fans who are very fickle, and they're quick to jump on the players' backs. And the way that you've got to bounce back from it is just learn from where it went wrong and try not to dwell on the negative side. You know, that bad feeling. You've got to turn that into a positive. So the loss, the feeling of like going down to a big score like that, like, you know, that many goals, you've got to like take all that anger, that fucking frustration, and think, right, I don't ever want to feel like that again.
In a break from training, Captain Liam Cooper is visiting Josh Warrington, IBF featherweight champion and fanatical Leeds United supporter.
How you doing?
So bad?
Yeah?
Steady work.
I'm alright, yeah. I'm not training until 4 to 1.
So your gloves?
I only really started following Josh when I moved to Leeds. We get the opportunity to meet each other through sport.
Hi, Mark. How you doing? Hi, love you.
Right,
okay?
mate, all right.
Nice to see you again, pal. How is it going?
Good, mate, yeah. Had a couple of days off last week, and then once he's given us a couple of days off, mate, that's it. Like, we're straight back down to grafting, you know what I mean? So today probably be the hardest day. Obviously, we're all on them GPSs, just to get all your running stats up and your accelerations, decelerations. It's just mad for it, but...
A lot of players who played up from club probably don't understand what it is to be Leeds.
No.
Like, I think you've got that kind of mentality. Like, you know, you're from like fucking...
Working class,
from
mate.
north anyway,
yeah.
working class.
Yeah.
You understand what it is, and people talk about Leeds fans fucking being a different breed, and...
Yeah.
We are. It's just different mentality, and it's just massively passionate, as you see home and away.
Yeah.
It's fucking in there, mate. You know what I mean? How bad do you want it? What's going to fucking stop you from throwing them arms? It's mentality. It's fucking Leeds, that's what it is. It's Leeds.
I'm doing what you're doing anyway.
Yeah,
Getting punched in the face for a living.
Josh is defending his IBF world title in December, knowing thousands of passionate Leeds fans will be in his corner.
Leeds fans see Josh as one of their own, which he is, and they want to give him any advantage he can. So if that's intimidating someone or making someone think, oh God, they're shooting at me, it's that little advantage. And he might need that one during the fight at any specific time. And I think the Leeds fans recognise that, like they do with us on the pitch when they're smashing, marching on together out at the start of the game or during the game. And it does give you that lift because you think, this means something, this is their lives and they're here to watch us, and hopefully we can keep them there for the remaining games and do something really special.
Fucking, you're standing on history here, kids.
Before the crucial run of games in December, Andrea and the Leeds board are meeting in London to discuss plans for the rest of the season and beyond. And joining them are representatives from the San Francisco 49ers, including President Parag Marath and Chief Executive Jed York, who have invested in Leeds recently.
So the board meetings are when you've got the creativity and intellect of Andrea and the 49ers. You know, it tends to be a very productive and interesting debate. But also there's business that we need to get done as well. The 49ers are around one of the greatest franchises in world sport, and they can help us from both a commercial perspective but also a technical perspective. But the key thing in terms of taking that investment and making it work is really being the individuals involved. So, Parag and Jed are, they buy into what Leeds United could be. They buy into the potential. They're here for the journey, so they're learning about the sport. They're learning about the game, but we're also learning from them because I think there are a certain both commercial and technical elements that we can learn from.
Parag and his team are keen to understand the intricacies of Leeds United's player recruitment policy and how Director of Football Victor Orta works with head coach Marcelo Bielsa.
The reason that we have conversations by phone or face-to-face near 1 hour each day, because I start to feel what things that he likes, respect the skills of the player. And for me, in my past, when I have big success is when the head coach trusts the recruitment 200%.
Victor explains the variety of tools and expertise at their disposal when scouting for players.
Now in football, and we can discuss now, looking at a lot of tools that we use, the information is for all the people. All the people have the information, and it's not expensive. The database or the algorithms or the other, it's not expensive. And all people have the information. But this is not the key for success. The key for success is convert this information in knowledge for your team. This is the really important, because all the people have access of the information, but you need to convert in knowledge. And when you convert in knowledge, you have the real power.
I think yesterday was just a normal board meeting to update our partners, but update from the management, update myself. So it was good for me to also have an overview about everything, what's going on in the club, more in details. But I see finally we are getting closer to the club I wanted to build from the beginning. I'm very proud to say that the vision I had is starting to become concrete. Step by step, we are getting into the club we want to be. We are getting to become a good club, modern and well managed, and this reflects on the pitch, I think. Big day, big important game. We can lose more points. Tom, let's put some music here.
Sure. What kind of music do you like?
I'm getting depressed.
What kind of thing do you like?
Anything, don't worry. Just no news, no politics.
There we are.
Yeah, that's better. I had a very rough week. We need a win now to cheer me up.
It's early December and Leeds face arguably their toughest test of the season so far. Another Yorkshire derby, a promotion rivals Sheffield United.
Pleased to be back here.
It's good to have you back.
This time, hopefully, you will be more generous on the pitch.
Well, I'm not sure about that. I mean, it's a shame to spoil a good day by losing to Leeds United, because the competition between the two clubs has been immense for many, many years. So we've always had some great games. Some games I can remember at Ellen Road that I don't want to remember the score, because you did win and won well. So the camaraderie is hard fought on the pitch, and I may say under your stewardship, the camaraderie and hospitality off the pitch is first class. There were years when it wasn't that way at Leeds, but it's good to see the club restored to a community club just like Sheffield United.
Great. Thank you. Good luck today.
Good luck today. Thank you.
On the next game.
Thank you.
Yorkshire derby matches are always fierce battles. Leeds with an injury-ravaged squad are taking on Sheffield United, who have a similar all-out attacking style.
They always
First 15
start
minutes,
fast,
yeah,
very
good.
fast. It's good.
The first 15 minutes is going to be on the pitch already working.
I think the West Brom game might be the best thing that happened to us, because we learned so much from it.
Could be anyway, even goalkeeper.
This is as partisan as it can be for a promotion push. Two Yorkshire sides divided by a halfway line as they go head-to-head looking for a place in the Premier League at this early stage of the season.
20 minutes into the game, and yet another injury for Leeds, this time to inspirational captain Liam Cooper.
Cooper's down. He's been an absolute colossus for Leeds so far this season. And can you believe it? Another injury blow for Leeds United. And what a crucial man this is as well. Key to the defence, key to the performance at the back all season. Oof, and that's another bad challenge. Stuart Dallas down this time.
At half-time, defender Luke Ayling is outraged that the officials have been too lenient with Sheffield United's aggressive approach. Marcelo Bielsa brings on young attacking midfielder Jack Clark.
Substitute Jack Clark looking to weave his magic. What can he conjure up here? Strikes and Henderson goes low. Here's Click. He's fancying his chances too. Stopped by Henderson, but only with the rebound. Click flick again, so close past the angle. Egan with the pass back to Henderson. Well, he's struggling to keep this one in and clear. Oh, Clark has pounced. He's going to find Hernandez here. And Hernandez from close range wraps up the points in the Yorkshire derby for Leeds United. What a huge step towards promotion this could be. It's the youngster Clark to the veteran Hernandez, and they've combined lethally for Leeds United. United have done it, a first win at Bramall Lane since 1992, and Leeds United take the bragging rights against Sheffield United.
A huge win, Leeds United's first win at Bramall Lane since 1992, the year they were last crowned champions of England. The crucial win has come at a cost. Captain Liam Cooper's knee injury will require surgery. And teammate Stuart Dallas has a broken bone in his foot. Since the heavy 4-1 defeat to West Bromwich Albion, Leeds have recorded 3 straight wins. One player has been pivotal in this recovery, Pablo Hernandez.
I think he's been marvellous to watch this. He sees things that others just don't. Hernandez on his day is just unplayable, and he has got better this season. Bearing in mind, a couple of years ago, he wasn't even guaranteed a regular start when he first came.
Yo creo que él me puede hacer a mí mejor entrenador, porque veo soluciones y decisiones que vi excepcionalmente a lo largo de mi carrera.
Yeah, you happy? Yeah, you want the training? Yeah, you like?
Marcelo said he's a quiet leader, and that's really how it is. It feels so good when he's on the pitch.
He's one of them. He's really quiet away from the pitch, but you put him on the pitch and he's full of character. Comes alive. He's loud. He's authoritative. You get back in the changing rooms and he's just quiet Pablo again, like.
I know I am important player in the squad, but. Like me, we have another important players, no? And if I play good, it's because they help me, no? And this is the more important for me, no? And I do all I can do for the team. You can feel this club is different. This club is a big club.
Leeds United may be coming out of the darkest period in its history. For the first time in years, it appears there is a real unity between fans, players, management and owner.
That's what Andrea wanted to do. He wanted to reconnect the fan base with he wanted to reconnect with the community, and he wanted to reconnect with the fans. He wanted to make a big statement to say, we're custodians and you're going to take the club forward for us, and he's done that.
They'd had 15 years of turmoil. Our objective as a club is to make, we're trying to do one thing, which is make supporters proud. And over the last 15 years, Leeds supporters haven't had enough to be proud about.
It's early December. Later today, Leeds take on Queen's Park Rangers at Ellen Road. Before the game, Andrea and wife Nadine are dropping into a Leeds city centre hospital to visit patients, staff and volunteers.
We've had a lot of bad owners that have not put the club first. This is the first time for a long, long time that the stability's there in the background. We've got great interaction with the team. What we've got with Radrizzani and got a good relationship with him.
I should have dressed like Santa Claus.
Yeah, you should have done.
I did already in the past. Actually, Marcelo looked good as a Santa.
You can tell him. You tell him. I'm not
I can tell him. You care about him, eh?
Yeah.
It's okay.
Right, so should we go meet some friends? Hello. Are you wondering who all these people are?
Who's he?
Yeah. He's had his first stage, so he's waiting for his second stage. Yeah.
You become a football player, Roberto. I wait for you. I wait for you, okay? When we go Premier League, then you come. Look at his eyes. You star, my man. I look forward to see you in the stadium, okay?
Andrea has invited some of the kids from the Children's Heart Surgery Fund to today's game against QPR.
Oh, it's been brilliant. Well, actually, I only told her a few days ago because she really likes stuff like this, and because she's been in hospital for so long, she met quite a few players, you know, at LGI, so she's remembered them, so she's excited for today.
Would you do what's that one?
Yeah. I'll try to score for you, okay?
Yeah, so if he scores...
Don't cry, okay?
But listen, when you're in the tunnel, Pablo's going to hold your hand and walk out with you.
What's up? You don't think we're going to win today? Is that what it is?
Despite a good run, Leeds lie second in the Championship behind a resurgent Norwich City. They need a win against mid-table QPR to keep on Norwich's tail. Captain Liam Cooper is on a growing list of first-team players sidelined through injury.
Obviously, me and the injured lads are dying to get back and help the lads out in the dressing room as well while we can. I get more nervous watching than I do when I'm playing. I don't know why. When you're sat from there, you feel all the emotion instead of just your own. It's obviously the fans around you. You feel the staff's emotion, and when you're playing, you just have yourself to concentrate on.
Leeds' attacking style has left them vulnerable to counter-attacks in previous games.
Through here, Jansen's missed his cue. Wells again and low into the corner at the cop end, and Queen's Park Rangers take the lead.
Yet again, Leeds fall behind against the run of play.
And without Liam Cooper, how costly is it for Leeds not to have their captain in these crucial games leading in towards Christmas?
Leeds need to show their fighting spirit to get back into another game they should not be losing.
Shackleton on the overlap for United. Lifts it to the back post looking for Alioski. It'll drop to Saiz. He won't get his shot away properly or cleanly. Hernandez will try one, and it's Roof who steers it in from close range. Another equaliser and another vital goal for Kemal Roof for Leeds United. It's 1-1 here against QPR.
A draw is not enough to keep on the tail of table-topping Norwich City. Fans and injured teammates will them on as they push for a winning goal.
Chance for Roof here. Oh, it's saved! What a moment, what a chance. Roof could be in here again. He's over the top of Lency, brings it down, and the referee's seen something. Handball, and Leeds United, for the first time in 59 games, have been given a penalty. And at the cop end, Kemal Roof has the chance to take all 3 points against Queen's Park Rangers. It's 2 for Roof, it's 2 for Leeds. Walking wounded look on. The tension is palpable. Can Leeds hang on? That's it. They've done it. It's finished. Leeds 2, QPR 1.
Another battling back from behind performance. Leeds and Norwich hold the 2 automatic promotion spots, and a gap is growing between them and the chasing pack.
Yes!
But their injury-hit squad now face a hectic flurry of fixtures over the busy Christmas period, when championship sides must play 4 games in 9 days. And there's another huge event on the horizon for the city's sports fans. Leeds boxing hero Josh Warrington is defending his IBF world title against challenger and favourite Carl Frampton.
Since I've been playing at Leeds, I've always tried to keep it Leeds.
Yeah.
Just because that's what it is. My nickname's Leeds Warrior.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not marching on together towered on my leg.
Every fight, Josh picks a Leeds United legend to enter the ring with him. And for this fight, there's only one contender.
I want someone who's going to feel it and be part of it. And so we'll sit down and we both said, it's got to be Cooper this season. He's a leader, man. We're going to lead us into battle, because that's what you're doing. Ultimately, you're marching in that belt into battle with us. So it's a massive thing.
It took me by surprise, because obviously Josh hadn't mentioned it. I just messaged back. Mrs. sat next to me. I went, fans are going to the box, and Josh asked me to do the ring match. She was like, yeah, let's go.
Just your presence there, I don't take it for granted. I see another sporting, someone in the sporting field there. You do buzz off that energy, and I know I say thank you for being part of it, mate. It's true. Always going on, and mate, do the business.
Let's go, do it. Josh, let's go. Let's go.
And now let's welcome to the ring the defending world champion from Leeds, England, Josh, the Leeds Warrior Warrington.
Two massive clubs in English football, a clash fit for the Premier League. This is Aston Villa versus Leeds United. Bielsa is forced to juggle his pack once again. It's an injury-ravaged squad.
Move back towards his dream.
Pushing forward here. McGinn inside the penalty area. He's bearing down on Peacock. Foul. It falls for Abraham, and he scored. United are behind again in the Championship, and it's the Chelsea loanee Tammy Abraham.
Here comes Warrington again with a terrific intensity.
Chance for Villa. Falls for Hourahan on his left foot. That's where he likes it. 2-0 Villa.
Good early pressure from the champion. Back comes Frampton. Oh, he's got it. Big left hand from Warrington. What a start to this fight. And he's going looking for Frampton.
Nearly an hour gone. Leeds trailing 2-0. They need something to happen now. Jack Clark, what can he do coming off the wing? Sets his sights. And he hits the target. And Leeds just 2 on behind. Have hope now at Villa Park. Corner for Leeds. Up goes Janssen, and that's 2-2. Another equaliser for Leeds. That never say die spirit in full evidence again. This side does not know when it's beaten and how they celebrate with their fans at Villa Park.
He's holding on again, and Brampton's in trouble. Is he going to go? Warrington thinks he is. He's trying to take him out.
With 5 minutes deep into added time, is there another chance for Leeds? Here's Roof. Oh, he's driven it low, and he's won it. It's a 5-goal thriller at the Villa, and Kemal Roof has done it right at the death.
Your winner by unanimous decision, and still IBF featherweight champion of the world.
And that's it. An incredible comeback is complete for Leeds. What a weekend for the city. Josh Warrington defends his world title, and United go top of the table. Happy Christmas.
The incredible comeback at Villa Park shows Marcelo Bielsa's demanding approach is paying off. The team fight to the very end and ensure they are top of the table on Christmas Day. For the past 10 seasons, every team in this position at this time has been automatically promoted to the Premier League. Leeds are now the bookies' red-hot favourites to win the title and return to the top flight. Only 3 days later, Leeds must take on Blackburn Rovers at Ellen Road. And they have a special guest urging them on.
It's a game the supporters are expecting to win here at Ellen Road. Leeds United against Blackburn Rovers. It's the second game in 3 days over the intense Christmas period. We cannot promise the drama that we saw at Aston Villa, but Leeds need to keep that momentum.